You always look at me like I hung the moon, Ethan said, brushing a strand of hair behind my ear. That's because you did, I laughed, wrapping my arms around his neck. At least my moon, he smirked. You're addicted to me, shameless much. Truthful, he whispered, pulling me into a kiss. The kind that makes you forget there's a whole world outside of two people. I still remember the way his cologne wrapped around me, woodsy, warm, with something darker underneath I couldn't name. If I'd known then what that scent would come to mean, I would have pushed him away. Instead, I leaned in. That was 2 hours before the party. My friends flooded the living room with laughter and champagne. Gold and white streamers hung like clouds above us. Someone put on that song I always danced to when I was drunk, and they shouted my name until I gave in and spun barefoot on the rug. Ethan watched me from the kitchen, arms crossed, a fond smile on his lips. God, I thought I was the luckiest girl alive. Maya, he called out, lifting his glass. Everyone, can I say something? I stopped mid-spin, smiling as I walked over to him. Only if it's a toast and not a roast. It's more than that, the room quieted. Even Mia, always loudest, fell silent. I've known Maya for 3 years, Ethan began, his voice smooth and steady. And for 3 years, she's made me feel like home isn't a place, it's a person. She's stubborn, loud, and completely reckless with kitchen knives. Still have all my fingers, I said, raising my hand. He chuckled. But she's also the most loyal, brilliant, beautiful woman I've ever met. And if you've ever seen her at a protest or in court or arguing over what pizza topping we should get, you know she never backs down. That's why I love her. My heart swelled, my cheeks burned. Everyone clapped, and I want everyone to know, he continued, that no matter what happens, no matter how complicated life gets, I will always choose her. Or, Mia squealed, that's so cute I could puke. I laughed, burying my face in his chest. That was really sweet. Truthful, he said again, kissing my temple. But something about how, he said, no matter what happened stuck with me, like he was pre-writing an apology. Later that night, after the cake was gone and people had filtered out in pairs and clusters, I curled into Ethan on the couch. You didn't have to make that speech, I said, running my fingers along the back of his hand. But I'm glad you did. He was quiet. You okay? He blinked at me. Yeah, just tired. That's when my phone buzzed on the coffee table. Mia sent a meme. I laughed and showed it to him, but his eyes barely flicked to the screen. I looked at him for a moment. You've been weird since that toast. Weird how? I don't know. Like, to perfect. He pulled away slightly, just enough to look at me head on. Can a man just love his fiancée in peace? Only if he's not secretly plotting my murder, Ethan smiled. But his eyes didn't. I brushed it off. Because what kind of girl accuses the love of her life of being fake, just because his eyes didn't match his smile? I woke up around 3 a.m. with a dry throat. As I shuffled into the kitchen for water, I heard faint voices, Ethan's and someone else's, probably Lucas. He was crashing in the guest room after too much tequila. I paused. Don't say it like that. Ethan's voice, low. I'm just saying. It felt like a goodbye. I froze behind the wall. I had to make it sound good. Ethan said. Lucas sighed. You sure she doesn't know? She doesn't suspect a thing. She's too in love. My hand tightened around the water glass. Lucas muttered. You're playing with fire. I know exactly what I'm doing. My heart didn't break. Not yet. It just paused, like it was listening too. I crept back to bed, tucked myself under the covers, and stared at the ceiling until sunrise. And just like that, the illusion cracked. Not loud, not messy. Just quiet enough for me to hear everything. Everyone, can I have your attention? Ethan's voice sliced through the buzz of conversation. I blinked, halfway through a laugh with Mia, and turned to see him standing in the center of the room, glass raised. Oh God, I whispered. What's he doing now? Mia grinned. Proposal part 2. Don't even joke he'd do it just to be extra. Ethan smiled like he had the whole room in his pocket. I won't take long. I just need to say this. He looked straight at me. My stomach fluttered, like it always did when he made me feel like I was the only one in the room. I used to think love was supposed to feel like a storm, he said. Messy, chaotic, But then I met you, Maya, and everything quieted down. You were my calm, a few soft gasps echoed. Mia actually clutched her chest. And now, he continued, I know I'd go through every storm again just to come back. To you, to this, I promise, no matter what life throws our way, I'll always stand here. Beside you, people clapped. Someone we sold. My eyes welled up. I covered my mouth, smiling. You're ridiculous, I whispered as he came over and pulled me into a hug. He leaned in, kissed my forehead, and murmured, I mean every word. I wanted to believe him, but just before the kiss, I saw his eyes shift to Lucas, sitting in the back, alone. I looked past between them. Too fast to understand, but it lodged in my gut. Later that night, we were in bed, the lights dim, my head resting on his chest. That was dramatic, even for you, I said, tracing a line across his collarbone. Did I overdo it? Only by a mile, he chuckled. You liked it, though. I did, I admitted. Even if you made me cry in front of everyone, that was the point, he said, pulling me closer. You deserve grand moments. His phone buzzed on. The nightstand, twice. He didn't move. Aren't you going to check that? I asked. Nah, it's probably Lucas. He gets weirdly sentimental at night. I laughed. He's a night texting philosopher. Another buzz. Just check it, I said. What if he's drunk and stranded somewhere again? Ethan sighed and leaned over, grabbing his phone. His thumb hovered. Then he locked the screen. Nothing important, he said. He kissed my cheek. But when he went to the bathroom, he left the phone on the bed. I didn't mean to look. At least. That's what I told myself. The screen lit up again. A message preview. Lucas, I love her too. But we can't let her find out. My breath caught. I sat up slowly, blood rushing to my ears. The message stayed there, glowing like it had teeth. When Ethan came back, I pretended I was asleep. I didn't sleep. Though, I stared at the ceiling, counting the cracks in the paint, listening to his breathing slow beside me. My mind was racing. I love her too. What did that mean? Was Lucas in love with me? Or worse? Was this some twisted love triangle I'd been too blind to notice? I thought about the way Ethan had looked at him after the toast, how Lucas had left early, barely speaking to anyone. I wanted to wake him up, shake him, scream, what the hell is going on? But I didn't. I just lay there, heart pounding, replaying every conversation, every sideways glance. Every time I thought Ethan's smile didn't reach his eyes, I told myself there had to be an explanation, that I was overthinking. But deep down, I knew something was cracking, and this time, no amount of perfect words could seal it shut. I stared at the message on Ethan's phone for the third time in 24 hours. The words burned into my brain. I love her too, but we can't let her find out. I'd memorized every letter, every space. I couldn't pretend anymore. Still, I needed to hear it from him. Needed him to look me in the eye and say something, anything that would make this make sense. Ethan, I said the next morning, placing his coffee on the table harder than I meant to. Can I ask you something? He glanced up from his laptop. You sound serious. I am. He closed it, gave me that charming little smile. Okay, shoot. Why is Lucas texting you that he loves me? The smile vanished. What? You heard me? I crossed my arms. Your phone lit up the other night. I saw the message. You read my messages now. Don't flip this. Just answer the question. He leaned back in his chair, lips pressing into a thin line. It's not what it looks like. Then what is it, Ethan? He sighed. Lucas has been going through stuff. He gets emotional. That message wasn't meant the way it sounded. I love her too. But we can't let her find out sounds exactly like what it sounds like. He meant it as a joke. A joke. That's your defense, I swear. Maya, he's always been dramatic. I stared at him, trying to find cracks in his voice, but he was smooth. Too smooth. You didn't say anything back to him. No, because it was ridiculous. I ignored it. You could have told me. I didn't want to make you uncomfortable over something that meant nothing. It doesn't feel like nothing. He stood and walked over to me, placing his hands on my shoulders. You know I love you, right? I chose you. Lucas is complicated. But he's not a threat. You sure? I whispered. Positive. Wanted to believe him. God, I wanted to believe him. And for a second I did. But lies always rot through the walls eventually. 2 nights later, I heard them. I hadn't meant to eavesdrop. I was coming back from the laundry room, barefoot, holding a half-folded towel. Their voices were low, sharp, leaking out from behind the office door. I can't keep doing this, Lucas said. Keep your voice down. Ethan snapped. She's going to find out. She won't. She trusts me. A beat of silence. I don't know how much longer I can lie to her, Lucas muttered. I stopped breathing. Just a little longer. We need more time. Time for what? This is already messed up. You're playing with her, Ethan. No one's. Playing. I've got this under control. You always say that. Footsteps. A chair creaked. My knees trembled. I'm serious, Lucas said again, louder this time. She deserves better than this. I couldn't take it. I stepped back, towel still in my hands, and walked to the kitchen like a ghost. They were both quiet. When they came out later, I was sitting at the counter, pretending to read emails. Babe, Ethan said casually, leaning in to kiss me. I turned my face away. He hesitated. Something wrong? Nope. Lucas gave me a tight smile. Night, Maya, night. As soon as they were gone, I dropped the towel on the floor and leaned over the sink. My hands were shaking. Everything made sense now. The toast, the looks, the phone. The silence. It wasn't a misunderstanding. It was betrayal. And I had let it happen right in front of me. I gripped the edge of the sink so hard my knuckles went white. I wasn't the girl he protected. I was the girl he controlled. The public declarations were never about me. They were about keeping me blind. Well, I wasn't blind anymore. You're quiet again, Ethan said, pouring wine into my glass like nothing had shattered between us. I've had a lot on my mind, I replied, staring into the deep red swirl. He tilted his head. Still upset about that stupid text? Was it stupid? I asked, keeping my tone light. Or just revealing? I told you, Lucas was drunk, rambling. He gets attached to your fiancé. Ethan sighed. Maya, can we not do this again? We've moved past it, haven't we? I smiled. Sure, we hadn't. Not even close. I was done waiting for karma. I'd become it. I pulled back from everyone after that night, stopped replying to group chats. Ignored coffee invites. I was polite, but distant. Mia noticed first. You've been ghosting me, she said over voicemail. Did Ethan finally drive you insane? I didn't reply. I couldn't. Not until I had something solid. I started watching Ethan closely, who he talked to, when he left, what he said. The more I observed, the more I saw the cracks, subtle, but they're late-night calls. Whispered arguments with Lucas on the balcony, deleted texts. I wasn't paranoid. I was prepared. One evening, I found Ethan's laptop open on the coffee table. He was in the shower. My hand shook, but I didn't hesitate. I opened his message threads. Most were clean, polished. Except one. A hidden folder, encrypted, labeled with my name. I cracked it. Password, my birthday. Inside screenshots, emails, voice memos. Not of me, but about me. From Lucas. Does she suspect anything? I feel sick lying to her. I didn't think it would go this far. My stomach flipped. It was real. They kept secrets. Built lies, planned around me like I was furniture. And now I had proof. Later that night, I curled into Ethan's side. You okay? He murmured, just tired. He kissed the top of my head. You've been really sweet lately. I'm trying, I whispered. I know I overreact sometimes. No, he said, wrapping his arm around me. You just passionate. That's why I love you. I bit my lip so hard it almost bled. You love me? I asked. Always, I nodded. I believe you. I didn't, but I was getting better at lying to. Lucas texted me the next night. Lucas, can we talk? I hesitated, then replied. Me, fine. Come by. He showed up 20 minutes later, standing awkwardly in the doorway like he'd forgotten how to be in my space. You want tea? I asked. I deserve arsenic, he muttered. Still want tea? He almost smiled. Yeah, we sat at the kitchen table, mugs between us. The silence was thick. I didn't know it would get this bad, he said eventually. What part? The lying, or the part where I turned into a pawn. I never saw you that way. You let him treat me that way. I didn't know how to stop it. You could have told me. He ran a hand through his hair. And say what? That your perfect fiancé isn't just a liar but a manipulator? That I let him pull me into it. Yes, exactly that. I was scared. I leaned in. Of him. Of you, he said, voice cracking. Of hurting you. You already did. I know. We sat in silence again. He reached out, fingers grazing mine. I'm sorry. I didn't pull away. That was the worst part. We started talking more after that, quietly, at night. Over text, then in person. He started opening up. Guilt poured out of him like floodwater. I should have stopped him, he said one night. On the balcony. You didn't deserve any of it. No, I didn't. I wish I could undo it. You can't. I know. I should have hated him. But I didn't, because in some twisted way, Lucas was my mirror, broken in the same places, and somewhere in that brokenness, revenge started to feel lonely. Ethan noticed the shift. You're glowing again, he said over breakfast. New skincare routine, just cutting out toxins, I replied. He chuckled. Guess that includes me. I smiled. Not yet. He stared at me, eyes narrowing just slightly. Are we good? I met his gaze. We're better than ever. He didn't believe me. Not really. But he wanted to, and that made him careless. 2 days later, I forwarded the encrypted folder to myself, then deleted. The traces. Lucas helped me. I shouldn't be doing this, he said, handing over Ethan's old tablet. But he deserves it. So do I said. Lucas nodded. What are you going to do? I smirked. Haven't decided if I want to destroy him all at once. Or piece by piece. He looked shaken. You scare me. Good, because for the first time in weeks, I wasn't scared anymore. I wasn't heartbroken. I wasn't lost. I was something else entirely. I was ready. You've been distant again, Ethan said, tossing his keys on the counter. I've been busy, I replied, keeping my voice level. He came up behind me, hands brushing my waist. Too busy for me. I didn't flinch, but my stomach tightened. Maybe, he let out a breathy laugh. Come on, we've been doing better, have we? You said you forgave me. I said I was trying. Same thing. No, I turned to face him. It's not. His jaw clenched, but he backed off. You're being cold again, I shrug. Then maybe you should warm me up. He left the room without another word. 1 point for me. Lucas knocked on my door around 10. Same hesitant rhythm. You shouldn't be here, I said, stepping aside anyway. I know, he whispered. We sat across from each other, like we'd been doing for weeks now. To ghost in the same house of guilt. I did it, I told him. Sipping tea, I sent the folder to myself. Backed it up. His eyes widened. Does he know? Not yet. He looked down at his hands. You're really going through with it, wouldn't you? I don't know anymore. I raised an eyebrow. That's convenient. I never wanted this, he said, voice tight. I didn't want to lie to you, but Ethan, he has this way of twisting things. Are you blaming him again? No, I'm blaming me too. I leaned forward. Then say it. He hesitated. Say what? Maya, that you chose him. That you betrayed me. He closed his eyes. I chose. Wrong. My throat tightened. Why? I thought he needed me. What about what I needed? He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. Exactly. Later, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying his words. Ethan has a hold on me. I can't break free. Was that fear? Loyalty, cowardice, or just another excuse? I hated how much it still mattered. I hated that part of me still cared. Ethan woke me up with breakfast the next morning. Eggs, coffee, toast with honey. The way I liked it. I thought we needed a fresh start, he said. You're acting like this is a movie. I muttered, isn't that what you want? A dramatic turnaround. Redemption. Redemption doesn't come with toast. Ethan, I'm trying here. Try harder. He slammed the plate down. Jesus, Maya, what more do you want? The truth. He stared at me. I stared back. Then he picked up the toast and walked out. Another point for me. Lucas showed up again that night. I didn't invite him, but he came. You look like hell, I said, opening the door. I feel worse. Still tied to him, he nodded. I owe him. You owe me. He sat down heavily. I know, that's why I'm here, to help. To confess, I didn't say anything. I told him you've changed, he said. That you're not safe anymore? Safe. I laughed. You think I'm a threat, you are. Good, he exhaled. You scare me, Maya. You should have been scared before you betrayed me. I didn't mean for it to happen like this. No one ever does. We sat in silence again. Then he whispered, if it comes down to it, I'll choose you. I looked at him. Really looked. Too late, I said. Ethan confronted me too. Days later, I saw the backup file, he said. Voice low. You shouldn't be snooping. You think you're clever. No, I know I am. His face twisted. You think you can take me down. After everything I did for you, you didn't do anything for me. Ethan, you used me. I protected you. From what? The truth. Yourself. He stepped closer. You're making a mistake. No, I'm correcting one. I won't go down quietly, then scream. He stared at me for a long second. Then stormed out. Checkmate. Almost. Lucas texted me that night. Lucas, he's spiraling. What did you do? Me? I told the truth. Something neither of you were capable of. He didn't reply. It hit me in the shower. Cold and brutal. This wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about survival. Ethan was unraveling. Lucas was trapped. And me? I was somewhere in between. Not a victim. Not a villain. Just a woman trying to breathe in a room full of fire. And no matter what burned next, I'd make it out. Even if I had to walk through hell to do it. Still giving me the silent treatment? Ethan asked, leaning against the door frame like he owned the place. I stopped playing nice, I said, without looking up from my laptop. I miss the version of you that used to cry when I raised my voice. I click save. She doesn't live here anymore. Come on, Maya. I shut the laptop and stood. What do you want? To talk? No. You want to convince, to charm. But that doesn't work anymore, he smirked. You used to fall apart if I so much as looked disappointed. And now you're the one falling apart, I said. Walking past him, he grabbed my wrist. We can fix this. I pulled free. No, you broke it. And I stopped bleeding for people who don't know how to say sorry. Lucas showed up that afternoon. Hoodie on, eyes red. I saw Ethan this morning, he said. And he looked like he hadn't slept in days. Good. Maya, I raised a hand. Don't ask me to feel bad for him. He sat on the arm of the couch. I'm not. I'm asking what's next. I tossed him a flash drive. That. It has everything. Emails, contracts, messages. I was going to send it to his board tomorrow. Lucas turned it over in his hand. This is a lot. You still think he's redeemable? He shook his head. No, I think you are. I frowned. What's that supposed to mean? He looked up. You're not him, Maya. Just don't forget that. I found the messages by accident, buried in a hidden folder inside one of Ethan's old Dropbox links. I almost deleted it, thinking it was junk. But then I saw Lucas's name. Ethan, you're useful. Don't mess that up. Lucas, she doesn't deserve this. ETHEN, she's a pawn. We win, or we lose everything. I blinked hard. More followed. Ethan, she forgive you. She always does. Lucas, I hate this. Ethan, hate it all you want. You knew what this was. I sat frozen. My heart was loud in my ears. He didn't just lie to me. He orchestrated every moment, even Lucas's guilt. It was designed. I stared at the screen, waiting for the rage to come. But it didn't. What came was clarity. This wasn't about me. It was never just about me. Lucas was still there when I closed the laptop. Why didn't you tell me? I asked. He looked confused. Tell you what? That Ethan used you, controlled you, told you what to say, what to feel. His face went pale. You saw the messages. You let me believe you chose him. I did. At first, then it got out of control, and you said nothing. I didn't know how to come back from it. I shook my head. You weren't the only one being played. He fed off both of us. I'm sorry. Stop saying that. Maya, I needed you. And you became his echo. I wanted to protect you. Then you should have stood up with me. Not against me. I walked into Ethan's office without knocking. He looked up. startled. What now? I dropped a printed copy of the messages on his desk. He flipped through the pages, smirking at first, then slower, then stopped. Where did you get this? He asked. Where do you think? This is private. No, this is disgusting. He stood. You don't get it. Oh, I do. You played us both like chess pieces. It was strategy, survival, manipulation. I didn't force Lucas to do anything. You didn't have to. You own people without touching them. That's your superpower. And you? He said. What's your power, Maya? I smiled. Walking away, he laughed a bit early. You think that's strength? No, it's freedom. Back home, I opened the flash drive again, hovered over the folder, then deleted it. Lucas looked up from the kitchen. You're not sending it? No. Why? Because destroying him doesn't fix me. He nodded slowly. So, what now? I live. And him. He fades. He. Step closer. And me? I don't know, I said. I haven't decided if I forgive you yet. I'm not asking for that. Just a chance. To what? Undo the past. No, to be part of your future, if you'll let me. I looked at him, then turned away. We'll see. The next morning, Ethan texted. Ethan, you think you've won Emmy? No, I just stopped playing. I blocked his number, then I made coffee. Real coffee, not the one he used to force on me. Lucas watched me. Silent, I sipped it. It was strong, bitter, perfect. You're really done, huh? He asked. I nodded. He used to be the sun. Now he's a shadow. And you? I'm the damn storm. He smiled faintly. I believe that. Good. Because I do too. And for the first time in a long time, I meant it. Ethan was already pacing when I arrived. Same office, same leather chair. Same cologne that used to make me weak. Not anymore. You came alone. He asked. I didn't need backup. He scoffed. So, what is this? Some dramatic goodbye? No. This is the end. Yours. You think I'm scared. I think you're cornered, I said, pulling the folder from my bag. Everything. The lies, the fraud, the messages. He frowned. You wouldn't. Try me. I can make this go away. Maya. I can fix it. I crossed my arms. No, you can't fix what you never owned. His jaw clenched. You used to be smarter than this. No, I used to be afraid. Big difference. He looked away, fingers twitching. What do you want? I wanted to burn you to the ground. And now, I'm not sure anymore. He stepped closer. You know I didn't mean for any of it to go that far. I held up a hand. Stop. Don't insult me with that. Maya, I spent years shrinking so you could shine. And you still blamed me when you tripped. I lost control. You never had control. You had power over scared people. He stayed quiet. I'm done being scared, I said. Lucas was waiting by the elevator, hands in his pockets, head low. How'd it go? He asked. He begged. He looked up. Did you? No. No what? I didn't destroy him. Lucas blinked. You didn't. I could have. But I didn't. He followed me into the parking lot. Why not? Because it would have changed nothing. But he deserves it. I know. So then. I deserve peace more than he deserves punishment. Lucas exhaled. That's big of you. It's not about being big. It's about being done. We sat on a bench just outside. The city moved around us. But for once, I felt still. Lucas turned toward me. I'm sorry. I know. I mean it. I know you do. I never expected you to forgive me. I didn't do it for you. He nodded slowly. Still. Thank you. I forgave you because I couldn't carry it anymore. The weight. The anger. The ache. I'll never stop regretting what I did. You don't have to keep proving it. He looked at me like I was a stranger. You've changed. Good. No, I mean, you're strong, clear. I've never seen you like this. That's because I was busy surviving. And now I'm living. Back home, I opened the folder one last time. Then I fed every page into the shredder. Ethan's words, his lies, Lucas's guilt. Gone. My phone buzzed. A message from Ethan. Ethan, you'll regret this. Me, not a chance. Block. Lucas stood in the doorway. You sure? I turned. Yeah, I'm sure. He smiled. So, what now? I get my life back. And me? You. Start yours over. Does that include you? I paused. Maybe, but on my terms, he nodded. Fair enough. I'm not here to fix you. I'm just here to be better. I gave him a small smile. Start there. Later that night, I stood in front of the mirror. For once, I didn't hate what I saw. I didn't see a victim, or a fool, or a broken woman trying to glue herself back together. I saw me unapologetic rebuilt whole, and I whispered to my reflection, you made it. Because I had, and no one would take that from me again. I sat alone at the cafe where everything once began. Same corner table, same chipped mug. Different me. Lucas slid into the seat across from me without asking. I didn't think you'd actually come. I wasn't sure I would either. I thought, maybe we could talk. We've said everything that needed saying. I know, he said quietly. But I needed to see you. I sipped my coffee. Why? To thank you. For what? For not ruining me. I didn't let you off the hook. Lucas, I let myself off the leash. He nodded. I get that now. You and Ethan, you took everything from me. My trust. My time. My sanity. I know. But I took it back. I see that. I set the mug down. I don't hate you anymore. He looked stunned. You don't? No, but I don't need you, either. He exhaled slowly. Fair. I leaned back. You're a lesson. So was he. You think I'm like him? No, he was calculated. You were careless, but both hurt just the same. He nodded again. I don't expect forgiveness. I already gave it. He blinked. You did? Yeah, quietly, alone, weeks ago. Then why does this feel so final? Because it is. I walked out before he could say more. Letting go didn't need a speech. It needed silence. The breeze hit my face as I stepped outside. The weight I used to carry, gone, the noise in my chest. Quiet. My phone buzzed. Ethan, we should talk. One last time, delete, blocked, forgotten. Later, I found myself walking by the lake. No reason, just instinct. A woman passed with her dog and smiled at me. I smiled back. It was simple, human, uncomplicated, exactly what I needed. I sat on a bench, watching the water ripple with the wind. The past tried to tug at me sometimes. Ethan's voice, Lucas's guilt, my own shame, but it didn't have claws anymore. Not today. Not ever again. At home, I opened the drawer where I'd kept everything: letters, photos, receipts, the journal I once cried into. I picked it up, flicked to the first page. Dear Maya, I had written to myself back then, you don't know it yet, but you will survive this. I smiled. I had. I closed the journal and tossed it into the box. Then taped it shut. My friend Clara called that evening. How'd it go? She asked. Peaceful. Did you see them? Lucas, briefly. Ethan tried. Didn't work. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of me too. She laughed. That's the first time I've heard you say that. It won't be the last. That night, I poured myself a glass of wine and stood on my balcony. The city looked different now, brighter. Or maybe I just stopped looking through a dirty lens. I whispered, you're okay. Not to anyone else. Just to me. Because I finally was. Closure didn't come like thunder. It came like a breath. Soft. Still. Complete.